Hello, good afternoon, welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Melissa Peterson. Melissa's the head of Power to X for the Americas for Orsted. Welcome.
Thank you, excited to be here.
Yeah, great. Orsted is a business well known to me, coming out of Europe. Obviously, it used to be called WHNA, Danish oil and natural gas. So changed the brand to Orsted, and we're a clear leader in offshore wind in Europe. So your business in America, can you give us some understanding about what it is you're doing here?
As part of the energy transition that Ørsted went through from being Dong Energy into Ørsted and our green transformation as we moved from being a carbon-based company to being a carbon-free company, we grew obviously in the offshore wind sector. That has then grown outside the European Union, and we first started in the US in the offshore business. So we own the only operating offshore farm right now in the US. As we gained momentum in the US, we expanded that footprint to an onshore business. So in 2018, we entered the US market in our onshore platform. So we now have roughly 4 gigawatts of operating onshore wind and solar and battery assets across the US. And then more recently, just about a year ago, we decided to advance our Power to X business here in the US. And that's really kind of our next stage of our evolution towards decarbonization, as we believe and know that we can't electrify every single sector. Yeah. That's just not going to be feasible. And so Power to X is that umbrella term that creates those fuels for us to decarbonize those we call them hard to electrify sectors, such as shipping, heavy transportation, aviation, et cetera.
Yeah, you see e-methanol being one of those key, green molecules coming off the sort of Power to X portfolios.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of momentum from the off-takers, especially in the shipping space, ordering e-methanol ships. I think there's over 100 now announcements of e-methanol powered ships that have been on order. So we definitely see that as the trajectory for the next while to help decarbonize their sectors and moving into that space.
So they can.
Yeah, they're dual. Yeah. They're dual fuel so that they'll be able to scale, right? Because right now the e-methanol market isn't robust enough 100%. So there's certain markets like Europe and now the US with the passage of the IRA that are kind of maturing, but these are global shippers. So they're talking to markets all over the world, Africa, South America, Australia, Asia, right? Yeah. And they don't have all those ports. So they have to be able to be flexible and utilize the fuel that's most accessible, obviously with the hope of getting as much e-fuel as possible.
We had a couple of conversations that have been around skill sets and also culture, and it's interesting to think about, the hydrogen industry as wires and pipes. What are your thoughts around the different cultures? Obviously, the electricity industry is quite different to the chemicals, chemical engineering, and Power to X, you're obviously bridging that sector.
Yeah.
Is that a sort of different skill set? So obviously, Dong's history is in the pipes, and they became a wires company, and now you're looking back at building more of a pipes business as well. Yeah. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, it's interesting. We actually talk about that a lot, how we sort of come full circle at Dong, right? We started as a kind of oil and gas company. We moved into the energy company or power company, and we're going back in a lot of ways with our Power to X business into that oil and gas, you say pipes sector. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting in that, we're starting to see that sector now starting to decarbonize down this path. In terms of skill sets, there is some overlap, right? So things like project management, right? You still need to have, but there's a lot of specific skills around engineering, process design, safety, right? Those are all kind of completely different skill sets because the challenges that they're working on are different. And so one of the things we're doing at Ørsted to really ramp up our knowledge and our skill sets is tap into the oil and gas industry and try to pull people into the renewables or into this space to help kind of complement our existing renewables skill sets that we have in the company.
And also around the skill sets is about having a diverse workforce. So there's a lot of challenges out there, and it's proven that obviously having a diverse workforce creates more creative teams, more creative solutions. So there was the Women in Hydrogen breakfast briefing, and you were on the platform this morning. Yep. What are your thoughts around that? What are some of the solutions that you see in terms of pulling more of a diverse workforce into hydrogen? Yeah,
so here at Region Americas for Orsted, we have ambitious DEI goals. So we're really actively focused on how do we get a more diverse workforce that, includes from the entry-level positions all the way to our senior executives. And so we're working on a lot of different levels, both in kind of training existing employees around hiring practices, unconscious bias, right? Just helping kind of eliminate some of those barriers to maybe getting a workforce by the people that are already in the company, but also making sure that when we go out for new positions, we're not just posting it on one website and whoever applies is who we interview. We actually really look to kind of build contacts and relationships with trade associations, with organizations representing diverse individuals, with colleges and universities, to kind of pull in those diverse skill sets and diverse experiences into the groups so that we're getting at the interview process and at the hiring process a good mix of candidates to choose from. So, not a perfect solution. I don't think there is one. I think we're all sort of learning as we go a little bit, but trying our best and trying to make sure we're bringing the right perspectives to the table as the best way that we can.
Well, we're trying. We're doing our part. We think, we most of my team are female, so we're actually, the whole company, we're probably 51% female, 49% male. And we tried really hard with this program this year, so I think we just got about to 30% female speakers on the platform, which we're really proud about. Our overall goal is to really get to 40%, which I think is the actual gender split for the hydrogen industry currently. But yeah, we'll keep driving it, and we keep pushing all of our partners to supply diverse speakers as much as possible. So many thanks.
And I think it's wonderful now, I was going to say this, that we're in the kind of the beginning or the early maturation of this industry, and the fact that we're having these conversations now in the beginning, I think is super helpful. I came from the renewable side, and it wasn't talked about 15, 20 years ago, right? It was just, I was one of the only women often in the room, and I didn't think too much of it, to be quite honest. I mean, I recognized it, but it was just the way it was, and we didn't have candid conversations and openness around it. And so I think it's wonderful that we're growing the industry. There's a lot of people who are interested in coming in, and just having that be a part of the dialogue early, I think is going to help kind of set the stage as we continue to grow and be more conscious of our decision making around that. So.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, it's been great having you here.
It's been lovely to meet you. Take care.
And we'll see you next year.
Sounds good. Safe travels.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks.